The second story I will talk is about resistance. You know, when you are home gardeners, amateur gardeners, as also professional gardeners, you don't like to spray. When you are in the garden, you want to enjoy, to eat, pray, love, and not especially to spray. And so we have to breed in resistances. About 80 years ago, in Canada was found a sport of an apple tree, of a Macintosh apple tree. It's an American variety, a Macintosh, not very good for a European palate, a little bit too sweet and too perfumed. And this sport was named ripening. And this sport had the ability to have small internodes, so small distances from one root to another, and it had a high tendency of apical dominancy. Together, small internodes and high apical dominancy gives this columnar apple tree habit. Then later on in East Malling was a breeder who bred with this habit, with this white-cheeked apple tree, and introduced the Ballerina trees, remember. Ballerina trees were very nice with the same habit, so apical dominancy, small internodes, everywhere flowers, but they are or were not resistant to the most important diseases in apples, for example scab. It's sometimes raining here in UK, as in Switzerland, and when the leaves are wet, the apple scab has the possibility to go on the plant, and you will have black spots on the leaves, and black spot on the apples. Not very nice. And you don't want to spray if you have such a nice columnar apple tree in your garden or on your balcony. And so we have in the last 10 or 20 years developed resistant ballerina trees, resistant columnar apple trees. Our trademark is Malini trees. So they are resistant to scab, tolerant to mildew. Some are even tolerant to fire blight. And so it makes it easier in the garden. We have to develop resistant varieties. Sometimes people are talking to us and say, there are so many old apple varieties. Yes, okay. And they are very interesting for breeding purposes because they have sometimes something which is interesting. But normally they are not resistant. And in our gardens we don't want to spray, but we have a high level what we want from an apple. It should be nice also in the garden. It shouldn't be black. And our tolerance is very low there, so we have to have resistant varieties. The breeding goes on. We will have in the next years, we will have also red fleshed and red blooming columnar apple trees. Also development goes on and on. In the columnar apple trees, we have another problem because the internodes are so small, you have everywhere blooming blossoms. And then when you have everywhere blossoms, one blossom is saying to another, I have done my work this year. Next year I won't have fruit. And so out of this you will have the biannual cropping habit. And also we try to breed this out to find individuals, seedlings, which have not so much biannual cropping. And the first varieties now, Pronto, for example, and Malini Pronto and Malini Subito have fruit every year. The first ballerina trees had only fruit every 2 years. Also another thing which is important, you want to have one apple at least every year. So this about resistance and easiness.